Hi everybody, this is Agnes from No Sediment, and today I came to Burgundy to drink Burgundy. Everyone who loves Burgundy and at least has been once here will tell you that the real place to enjoy Burgundy, at least at somewhat decent prices, is Burgundy itself. And since I do love Burgundy, but I cannot really afford it, at least the good stuff, I decided to come to Burgundy. I have been to Burgundy a couple of times before, but none of those trips were planned to explore the region. This time I wanted to walk the vineyards, turn the stones, see the slopes, while sipping wine, of course. There is something magical about enjoying wine right in the midst of the vineyards, exactly where it comes from. But even that, as it turns out, is not quite as easy as one might think. With the majority of very good and top producers, you will not be able to buy the wines directly at the estate, provided you even manage to visit those top wineries in the first place. They will send you either to the local wine importer or to the nearest wine shop they know might carry their wine. But you're not the only one obsessed with wine who has come here to explore the complexities of Burgundy's terroir and the differences it shows in the glass. Chances are that some of the top wines will already be gone from the shelves. God forbid we even begin to discuss wider vintage offering. But you should always ask, because often some of the best wines are not placed on display. But even if you ask, you might be lucky to get a couple of bottles instead of a case you were looking for. Of course, there are exceptions to everything I just said. Domaine Jean Griveaux might be a great example. They have launched a wine shop where they release and sell back vintages to visitors, though you will need to book a visit in advance. You can have tour at the winery and at the end of your visit buy a bottle of wine. And I do say a bottle because again, the idea is more to bring home a nice gift to remember the visit by or simply enjoy the wine that evening. You will not be able to buy wine in cases to fill your cellar with. But not everything is quite as sad as I might have painted here. You still can get all those beautiful wines that are highly allocated and that you might never get yourself onto a list to receive them. You just have to go to a restaurant. And no, it does not have to be a fancy restaurant. Just honest, good food with nice wine list. And here one can truly find pearls. Wines that you cannot buy at the winery, cannot find in the wine shop, and that are allocated and distributed only in tiny amounts by the importer in your local country. But here in restaurants, you can enjoy them, served at the perfect temperature. Just the other day, I was having lunch in a restaurant and a couple next to me ordered a nice bottle of Merceau Premier Cru. They were taking a lot of pictures with the bottle and with themselves with the bottle, and they even gave the waiting staff to taste. They were so happy. And then just 2 days later, it was me at Ferme de la Rochette with a bottle from Carolina Moret. Of course, some of us might feel a little sneaky, and seeing how relatively, and I'm really focusing on the word relatively, affordable these wines can seem, might want to buy some bottles to go. But then again, that most likely will not be possible. The thing with Burgundy is that still many top wine producers, think of Pierre-Yves Collin-Moret, Coche de Riz and others, will release their wines at decent prices. It is the secondary market where we see the incredible price increase, some of them reaching stratospheric heights. I'm not saying all producers do. Some will respond to what is happening in the market and will choose not to leave the profit margin on the table for others and increase the price. So you might be refused to take the bottle with you in fear that it might later reappear on the market instead of being opened and enjoyed. Now, I'm not saying that this is true, but I have heard stories from restaurant owners that they have to sign their name in blood or send the corks back from open bottles and so on just to secure the next year's allocation. And yet, as I told you, there is something magical about enjoying wine in the place where it was born. So yes, I still go to wine shops looking for pearls, and there surely are great wines to discover. But there are names and estates that are well known to those outside Burgundy, that have already received international praise and accolades, and that of course increases recognition, sales and inevitably price. So now what I do is I choose wine that I really like and I know will be good. And then go to the salesperson or shop owner and ask if they have something just as exciting to suggest at a similar price point. Sometimes they say, no, this is great, just take it. But other times they will present me with several labels, all of them significantly lower in price, explain the style and allow me to choose between the 2 or 3 wines. And in Burgundy, I have not been disappointed yet. The locals know the best, the pearls, the gems, the values. Shall we enjoy one of the latest offerings? There was one problem though. We were surprised by terrible, scorching heat wave in the middle of June. It would already feel unnatural in July or August, temperatures approaching 40 degrees Celsius, but in June it feels like an abomination. So much so that in some places authorities did not advise against alcohol consumption, but forbade it. It is only possible to go outside when sun has gone very low, and this is the moment when we are outside. It is still 30+ degrees. And of course, you cannot drink red wine. No, you can drink red wine, of course, and you probably will want to have it a bit chilled. But my choice of wine would be white wine because it also offers a refreshment. So the story with this wine goes. I entered in the wine shop and I found Etienne Suzette Premier Cru Pouligny-Montrachet, and it was of course highly priced. It is well known and highly respected producer. So I took the bottle to the owner and I asked to suggest me anything else if he thinks that there is something I should try instead of that bottle. He suggested me 2 wines. Both of them were half of the price what was Etienne Suzette, and I actually ended up buying both. And I think he said that whenever winemaker from Etienne Suzette would come to the shop, he would choose the wine of this producer. I could not find Joseph Pascal in this famous book, so of course this is for us a blind wine, so we don't know what's going to follow. Have I told you how incredibly hot it is outside? And the only way to preserve the wine is to use the water thermos. Look at me, I'm decanting a wine. So if you are going on a picnic and you want to enjoy wine in the perfect temperature, this is good deal. All right, so let's taste the wine. It has been sitting on the ice for a while now, so I think it might be too cold. Could this be? While the wine is opening up, let me tell you about the Premier Cru Pouligny-Montrachet Premier Cru Les Chalamet. This one is actually the one vineyard that can be quite affected by climate change. And in these vintages, like 2026 is looking to be, wines can actually suffer hydric stress and heat stress because you have very little of the topsoil. There's a lot of gravel. So vineyard management is very important. All right, let's hope the wine has opened up and we can taste it. So there is great tension in the glass here. We have these white florals and acacia blossom and orange blossom here. And also these really ripe yellow orchard fruits, but they're still crunchy. You would have those peaches and apricots all yellow, ripe, but filled with a lot of crunch. On the palate, this wine is actually quite lovely. I think the first sip that I took, I was maybe slightly disappointed because I knew what I traded off for this bottle. But now, as it warmed up, I think it shows that tension, it shows that minerality, despite the fact that it might be difficult to explain what that means to each and every one of us. There's also that ripe, crunchy, orchard fruit-driven finish, and it is really long. I am talking with you, and I still feel the fruit present on the palate. So despite the fact that my first impression of this wine was somewhat, have I made a mistake? I do think that this is beautiful wine. It is drinking quite nicely, and it provides that tension, that backbone, that minerality that you would expect from some of the top Pouligny-Montrachet wines. So you see, I came to Burgundy to drink Burgundy. I've been scorched by the sun, I've been bitten by the bugs, but I know I will still remember this moment forever. So if you do have chance, always go to your favorite winemaking region and enjoy the wines where they were made. Please share in the comment section below your greatest wine experiences in the wine regions, and make sure to watch this video next.